Greg Hancock stood on top of the podium in front of the capacity crowd in Torun, Poland to collect his gold medal to become the 2014 FIM Speedway World Champion, and in doing so celebrated his third World Championship career title. The series that had kicked off in New Zealand proved to be a competitive year with all the twists and turns that a World Championship should have. Defending 2013 champion Ty Woofenden pushed Greg Hancock for the early part of the season until injury curtailed his fight to retain his title, and eventually finished fourth after a run-off in Torun with Denmark's Nicky Pedersen, who finally finished third in the series. Poland's Krzysztof Kasperzak, who pushed Hancock in the latter half of the season, proved a worthy runner-up, but for the Grin, as he's known, it's a long road ahead if he's to win a fourth world title.
I got to beat them all, you know. I mean, there's not just one rider. There's 15 other ones there that I got to beat on every event. So, for me, I want to be the best I can be, and as long as I'm making tracks and I'm taking points all the time, it doesn't matter who the riders are. They're just numbers.
So the 2015 season starts here in the Polish capital of Warsaw. It's the first time this great city has hosted a round of the Grand Prix series, and it's fitting that our Warriors of Shale start the series under the roof of the Stadion Narodowy, Poland's national stadium. Warsaw is one of three new venues on the 12-round 2015 calendar, which will also see the series visiting Horsens in Denmark before travelling to Melbourne, Australia, and the magnificent Etihad Stadium for the climax of the championship. So the class of 2015 is assembled here in Warsaw, with many familiar faces returning from 2014, all hoping to challenge Hancock for the title.
You know, it's never easy. I think this is going to be one of the toughest years in the Grand Prix. You know, you got Doyle coming in and Jonassen and Jesper Jensen, so you know it's going to be a great field.
I've done what I could. It doesn't mean that you go all the way, but I'm prepared and I'm really ready, you know, to enjoy myself now and go out and do the business.
I'm ready, fit 100%. And I hope so will be a good season for me and for my team.
Well, I don't want to say too much about my target. Just I want to get on a good level, and I want to race good, and that's it.
One very welcome addition to the paddock for round one only is Poland's national speedway god, Tomasz Golub. The 2010 world champion is here as a wild card, along with over 50,000 adoring fans.
Maybe tomorrow explosion euphoria in 55,000 people, and thank you for cooperation 20 years together, and good luck in tomorrow, and I hope good result for me. I think. Thank you very much.
Hi there, yes, good evening and a very warm welcome to this magnificent venue, the Stadion Narodowy, here for the Lotto Warsaw FIM Speedway Grand Prix of Poland. It is a superb setting in the heart of the city, the capital of Poland here, and we're looking forward to the first race of the night coming up shortly. Kelvin Tatum joins me in commentary once again for this first round of 2015, and Kelvin, it is some way to open the series.
Indeed it is. It's an extraordinary venue. It's state-of-the-art. It was opened, of course, for the European Football Championships in 2012. It's the first time that a Grand Prix has been staged here in the capital of Warsaw. We've got the president in tow. We've got some pretty high-powered politicians in the audience, which is fabulous to see. But it's going to be an emotional night as well, with Tomasz Golub on his farewell evening at this level, I've got to say. But the turnout by the crowd is extraordinary. It really is quite a sight to behold, and the atmosphere, as you can hear, is absolutely electric. Riders will be feeling quite nervous now, and I've got to say that this wait now for those four guys coming out for heat number one will be pretty tense.
Yeah, I certainly think this is the biggest atmosphere we've ever experienced in World Speedway. Cardiff takes some stopping, and we'll be back at the Millennium Stadium later this year, of course, in Wales. That's going to be some night, but what an atmosphere here. Over 50,000 Polish fanatics here who love their speedway. It is almost like the national sport of Poland. And also we have travelling contingent, Sweden, Denmark, and of course the UK, who have made the journey across here for this memorable opening night of the series. The riders then, they're going to be nervous for sure.
Sure, absolutely. This is quite a long wait. It'll feel like an eternity. They've had the presentations. They're on their bikes. Pedersen, who didn't practice this morning, he chose to sit that out. 14 riders rode earlier today, and they gave the thumbs up. Track conditions were tricky yesterday. They weren't able to practice. but this morning it was all systems go. Slightly smaller track than Cardiff, although we're in a bigger stadium. And for the first time, we're actually going to be able to see the pit site inside the stadium, which is going to be quite interesting. People will be able to, particularly on the start straight, looking back across the stadium, you're going to be able to see the pit boxes, all the action that's going on, the furious work that goes on between the heats. So that's an added spice. But heat 1 is about to get underway. Riders are now just emerging onto the track. And 2015 is about to get underway now.
So here we go, the riders out on the track, ready for action. Troy Batchelor having a skid, and much talk about track conditions. We'll talk with Kelvin about those very shortly. After practice yesterday, it has taken a monumental effort to get a speedway surface in here at this venue, as it does with all temporary tracks. It is a great achievement to get a speedway track laid down in a short space of time.
It is.
And, you know, we're looking forward to seeing how it reacts.
We are, and already, early doors, Kasper Zak has already changed his bike. He did a practice start and then went back and got his second one. Nicky Pedersen, he has just had his rear chain adjusted. Quite often the rear chain, when you do the first start, actually just slackens off, and you want to just that readjustment. Golub, of course, keenly looking on. Hasn't ridden at this level for some period of time. Last year, of course, he wasn't in the Grand Prix full time.
Here we go then, heat number 1 coming up. The nerves will be jangling for sure. Wherever you are around the world, welcome to this magnificent venue, the Stadion Narodowe, the Lotto Warsaw FIM Speedway Grand Prix of Poland. Krzysztof Kasper Zak, a Polish favourite off the inside. Nicky Pedersen off gate 2. Michael Jensen of Denmark gate 3. And Troy Batchelor off the outside in yellow. The man alongside me, Kelvin Tatum, did some laps here on this track yesterday. No doubt these 4 riders, there's going to be a certain buzz in their stomachs right now.
There'll be some butterflies for sure. Huge crowd, great atmosphere, an emotional night as well, with Golub on his farewell evening. It's the first race of the Grand Prix Series for 2015. Of course, you want to get off to a winning start. Kasper Zak possibly on the box seat on the inside gate, but Pedersen has been in terrific form this season in the early meetings.
World numbers 2 and 3, Kasper Zak and Pedersen alongside each other at the starting line here. And a little bit of movement, the red lights are on straight away.
Yeah, Michael Jensen just creeping a little bit there, and Jim Lawrence, the referee, doesn't hesitate. He puts the red light on immediately. Don't think he touched them, but he was just moving a fraction before they went up.
And here we go for the first time this year, the implementation, of course, where the riders will go on the 2 minutes straight away to come back for the restart. Here we see it again.
Just see Jensen just moving a fraction early there, and Jim Lawrence, the referee, deeming that to be an unsatisfactory start. 2 minutes is going to be put on fairly sharply. Hasn't happened yet. The referee's in charge of that. See it there. Pedersen had actually made a really good start over Krzysztof Kasper Zak on gate 1, but they're back round.
All for the verdict, no major surprise, but certainly Jensen looked to be the man that was actually moving at the start there.
He was, Nigel, he just moved his back.
He was Birmingham team manager when they finished top of the British Elite League back in 2013, and it's a big night for Phil Morris as well, talking to his predecessor Tony Olsen, 2 former riders there, but certainly a big night for Phil Morris as well, and we wish him well in his new role.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a baptism of fire yesterday for him, but he came through it very well. And you've got to say that, yes, it's a big job, and I'm sure he'll settle in and he'll reflect on this weekend. He'll learn heaps along the way. But we're back up at tapes now, and let's hope that the riders can sit still and get this first race underway.
Jim Lawrence is the referee, man in charge of the button at the start line. Let's see how long he keeps the tapes down this time. Kasper Zak off the inside, Pedersen off 2. Kasper Zak the world number 2, Pedersen the world number 3, Jensen off gate 3, and Troy Batchelor, who had a nasty crash on Bank Holiday Monday in the UK, which was, a week last Monday, riding for his club Swindon Robins against Poole, and landed awkwardly, was actually knocked out. I think there's a little bit of concussion was the verdict. Greg Hancock, the world number 1, watching on. Here we go then. The second start attempt. Heat number 1 of the Speedway Grand Prix 2015. Green light on. And they're away this time, and Kasper Zak has made a beauty off the inside. Now they're going to switch back.
Nicky Pedersen. Tough first corner for the opening race. Second time of asking, Kasperzak had made a blinder off the inside. Batchelor could be in trouble here. He chopped back, saw a gap, tried to get in there, but he did collect Nicky Pedersen. Heavy contact.
Drama in the extremes. The replay. Is there room for Batchelor there?
It just cleans him up, Nigel. It's unfortunate because the gap is there for him and he moves in there, but he then just rides into the side of Nicky Pedersen. There now, he takes the chance, roars in there, but unfortunately he collects Pedersen on the way through.
I don't see any other decision, Kelvin.
He's got to go. He's got to go, and that's a disappointment for the Australian.
People will disagree when we say he's got to go, but at the end of the day,
well, he rides in the side of him.
It's the way it is, and ultimately he has taken Nicky Pedersen off. Some will argue that Nicky may have turned left, but that I don't think
he's turn left to go around the corner.
You've got to do that anyway. Yeah, I don't think he's deliberately narrowed the angle there.
He's desperately trying to get amongst the points from the outside, and he's just run into the side of him, and it's a fairly clear, it's a straightforward decision.
Yeah,
in my book.
I know. I'm just
that get out of jail card when it is the first corner, but there, Choi made a strong move, and he saw a gap and he rushed in there, but unfortunately he just ran out of room. There was a rider in his way. No matter how you dress that up, Choi Batchelor rode into the side of Nicky Pedersen and cleaned him up. Simple as.
50,000 fans here in the Stadion Narodowa, and there's a Mexican wave going on right now to greet the riders for the first race, third attempt of this seat number 1.
Second time of asking, Kasperzak had made a really good start on the inside. He's back up at tapes. Pedersen out there just tweaking the bike. I'm not sure that's the bike he started on. I get the feeling that's his second one. That's not ideal. He's picked a bike that he fancied was the best one, but his equipment is immaculate, so there shouldn't be too much wrong with that spare bike. Kasperzak just having a good dig around on the start line. Quite often on temporary tracks, the material isn't quite as firm as it would be on a permanent track, so the ruts on the start, particularly later on in the meeting, can present problems for riders where the exhaust pipe can touch the ground and just actually hold you back as you leave the start line. But it's third time of asking, Nigel. Let's keep our fingers crossed that we can see 4 laps this time.
Okay, here we go. Attempt number 3 at heat number 1. A dramatic start here to the Grand Prix Series, which will remind you culminates in October in the Etihad Stadium in Melbourne. And the Grand Prix Series just taking another notch up in terms of the type of venues. This certainly one. Cardiff, of course, the fans' favourite in the UK. The Millennium Stadium coming up in July as well. Early World Cup this year too, remember. Christoph Kasperzak off 1. You know this off by heart now. I've read it out twice before. Kasperzak, Pedersen, Jepsen, Jensen and Batchelor.
Get used to it now.
Yeah. Hasn't changed. And Batchelor.
We haven't mentioned Marco Jepsen very much. Of course, he's a former World Cup winner. He's a Grand Prix winner.
Yep.
He rode in nearly half the series last year, but he's been in really good form, man. Got to say, he started the season very well, as has Nicky Pedersen. Here we go, Nigel.
Right, heat number 1, third time of asking. Green light, tapes dries, and once again Kasperzak off the inside has gone there. Pedersen's going to try and go wide, and now Kasperzak holds the line, but here comes Nicky Pedersen round the outside. Kasperzak will go wide, and Pedersen will try to chop on the inside. Jensen comes through as well, and now Pedersen coming back for more. It's all very tight here, but Christoph Kasperzak has opened up a handy lead from Jensen, Pedersen and Batchelor.
Yeah, super right from Jensen, who missed the start completely, but he's hugging that inside and has got the better of Pedersen. Pedersen's coming back at him. Kasperzak made no mistake. He really stamped his authority early in the race and is looking comfortable out in front. Choi Batchelor out the back. Kasperzak's got this one in his back pocket, and Jensen riding well in second place.
Yeah, Christoph Kasperzak then, the world number 2, 3 Grand Prix wins to his career, and he is looking so comfortable here now. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Listen to this crowd. It's a special KK moment for Christoph Kasperzak, who wins the first ever Speedway race here in the Stadion Narodowa. Christoph Kasperzak, the race winner there. It took 3 attempts to get it done, but the 50,000 crowd are jubilant.
And rightly so. That was an immaculate ride for his first heat here. And he showed great composure to remain focused. It was a tough start. They were neck and neck as they entered the first corner. But Kasperzak rode a strong race and was very impressive out in front. Just as impressive, you've got to say, was Michael Gibson
second. Nicky Pedersen was third, and Troy Batchelor trailed in at the back. The riders are already out.
Janowski to really go there. You just saw the movement, and it very nearly cost him. Well, could easily have been excluded by being on down. It's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, and AJ has taken on a busier schedule this year as well, riding for Lakeside Hammers in the UK.
Yeah.
But in a lot of discomfort, and when I saw him arrive at the stadium earlier, limping quite badly. Here we see in yellow the legend Thomas Golub then.
He would have preferred to have had the inside gate, I'm sure, for his first ride night. He's got a very competitive heat, but I've got to say the lineup for this year's Grand Prix Series is really tough, really tough. You'd only say Cy Futinov and Ward possibly are the ones that could or should be in the Grand Prix lineup, but apart from that, it's a really, really good lineup.
So, heat number 2 coming up then here. Second time of asking. Terrific atmosphere here in Warsaw. The stadium not too far away from the city centre, and probably around about 15 to 20 minutes by foot into the city centre. Really is magnificent, and the Europa League football final takes place here next month as well. The big events just keep on coming here. Woffington, Janowski, Jonsson, Golub across the grid. If you are new to Grand Prix Speedway, by the way, and all our regular Speedway followers, please forgive me for a moment when I explain it's 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, nothing for finishing last. And the top 8 riders from the 16 will go into the semi-finals, then the grand final itself. Here we go, heat number 2. This time, and the tapes are not going up evenly for me. I don't believe the tapes are going up evenly. Why has the red light not come on? And quite clearly it's affecting Mats Janowski. Got the lead here is with Andreas Jonsson. Woffington now charging hard with Thomas Golub. But for me, the tapes there did not go up evenly, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see a restart.
Well, totally unsatisfactory. You know, Janowski was convinced that the red light was going to come on. It's benefited Andreas Jonsson. We were just talking about the fact that he's going to struggle for points tonight, but he's comfortable out in front. Woffington's ridden well there to get the better of Golub, and he's got himself into second place, but an unsatisfactory race because Janowski didn't go, and you're right, tapes didn't go up evenly.
Well, I'll need to have a second look at that, but Jonsson has the advantage here. Woffington looking quick, passing Golub. Golub was third, and Janowski now trying to close that gap on Thomas Golub. But Andreas Jonsson in white is going to take the checkered flag, and that is a magnificent ride from AJ with that badly damaged knee, riding through the pain barrier.
Yeah,
terrific
super
ride from him.
Great start from gate 3, and he hit the front and pulled away. I think there was, without question, in the first corner, there were riders confused.
Well,
Janowski particularly, he didn't really race until he got down the back straight. Woffington turned it on in style and got the better of Golub, who didn't have enough speed, but Jonsson won comfortably.
Jonsson the winner with Woffington second.
Of course, now waiting in the pits for their first ride, heat 3. Got Jason Doyle, new to the series as well, who rode very well for Australia last year in the World Cup, and has really stepped up his performance since he won the Elite League Riders Championship at his home club, Leicester, earlier this year, in front of Simple. In actual fact, he beat Magic Janowski that night. Got Greg Hancock, the world champion, of course, coming out as well for his opening ride of the 2015 season. Jarek Hancock, another Polish rider who had just nowhere. He scored 21 points in a Grand Prix at the back end of last year and saved his, he secured his top 8 place, which was quite a remarkable turnaround.
Greg Hancock preparing for heat number 3 then, the reigning world champion. Jason Doyle is out here as well on his debut as a full-time Grand Prix Speedway rider. Jason Doyle, in fact, he's never ridden in a GP before.
Yeah, he has World Cup experience, though, doesn't he? So he's not unaccustomed to this level of racing, but this is a particularly special atmosphere, and of course the
front of the evening for the 2012 world champion Chris Holder, who goes in the red helmet colour off the inside gate, back in the UK this year, riding for the reigning champions there, the Pool Pirates. Chris Holder looking for a big season there, and great to see Niels Christian Iversen here in blue, back on a bike, back riding well. Has had a fairly busy start to the year, ridden for the Kingsland Stars in the UK, and has ridden in a few testimonial and benefit matches there as well. And certainly Niels strongly fancied for the year ahead. Chris Holder off 1, Everson off 2. Chris Harris back in the GP. He just doesn't give up, does he? He's a fantastic competitor. Chris Harris off gate 3 in white. And Matej Zegar, the classy Slovenian, off the outside in yellow.
Yeah, and Zegar hasn't practiced at all. This is the first time he's been out on his bike on the track. He's walked it several times, I'm sure, but interesting to see how he goes. But Holder on the inside, he'll be hoping to get off to a good start. Everson back from injury. Harris out of gate 3, here we go.
Heat number 4 it is. Tate tries again, and Chris Holder has been left standing at the start and has pulled up. He wants to see that restart. The red lights are on again, and the tapes are playing up again.
Well, I've got to say that Matej Zegar must be feeling very aggrieved.
Far from ideal, but it does appear as though this is the only option to get this meeting up and running. So heat number 4 coming up. Here's Everson in the blue helmet colour. Tapes are down, so let's see if they stay down and if they try one race from the tapes and it works correctly. But here we go. Heat number 4 it is, and after this race then every rider will have had one outing here in the Speedway Grand Prix in Warsaw. Matej Zegar looking up at the referee. He's a little bit confused.
They're now dismantling the tapes.
Okay, here, the tape's coming off, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So that pretty much tells us that we will be starting with the green light. Riders have just got to be disciplined now because Jim Lawrence is going to be... I wonder how much leeway he's going to give them, you know, because he can't give them any, can he? They have to sit still, and you've got that tape away. As I say, it is a massive shift in your normal routine.
Chris Holder off the inside, Niels Christian Everson off gate 2, Chris Harris gate 3, Matej Zegar going off the outside in yellow. The first ever Speedway Grand Prix heat from a green light start. So when the green light comes on, the riders have to be ready for action and they drop the clutch when the green light goes off. There's the view. Green light on. Under the way, and Everson has made a good one on gate number 2. Zegar's whipped around the outside now in yellow. Everson is going to have a go again in blue, and Harris is third. Chris Holder in the back. But this is superb from Matej Zegar in the yellow helmet colour, and Harris is putting Everson under all sorts of pressure.
Fabulous first start there from Matej Zegar, who didn't practice and he didn't need to, did he? Absolutely jet propelled away from the tapes and is looking super good out in front. Everson coming under a little bit of pressure from Chris Harris, and Chris Holder looks a little bit tentative back in 4th place. Oh, tight between Everson and Harris as they went down the back straight there, but Zegar out in front, looking like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, this is a man who has not practiced on this track. The riders were called in at 9 o'clock this morning and given the opportunity to practice. Zegar hasn't. And look at him here. He is absolutely flying. Takes the checkered flag.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yep, Matej Zegar, the victory superbly. And 2nd place was Niels Christian Everson. And 3rd was Chris Harris. So every rider has now completed one race here in Warsaw. I know it's been frustrating, but the riders will return and there will be a track grade, and then we will be cracking on, I'm sure. Zegar, Everson, Harris and Holder, so the race winners so far: Kasperzak, Jonsson, Hampel and Zegar. Heat number 5, we have the 2013 champion Ty Woffenden in that meeting in this race. Here in white, Jonsson as well. Woffenden, who had an awful crash here in Poland on Sunday at Torun. And,
yeah, did he?
His bike went into 2.
Well, the bike fell in half,
yeah,
going into the first corner to start the last lap, and how on earth he got away without too much damage. The bike obviously was heavily damaged, but he physically was fine. But yeah, it was quite a spectacular incident.
Certainly was. As Woffenden comes round to the start, Jonsson with 1 or 2 last-minute alterations and check-ups on the bike. As the 2 minutes time allowance now goes under a minute. Here we go then, heat number 5. Back here then in the Stadion Narodowy, Matej Zegar off the inside in red. Winner first time out. So is Krzysztof Kasperzak. He's off 2. Ty Woffenden, gate 3. Thomas H. Jonasson, gate 4. The noise is absolutely deafening here in Warsaw. And the riders have had another riders briefing, and they've been told that it is a green light start due to the starting gate malfunction. So, if you have just joined us, when the green light comes on, the riders are under orders, and they drop the clutch when the green light goes off. So here we go with Heat 5. It's far from ideal, but it does mean that the meeting can continue. Here in Warsaw, 50,000 fans in this magnificent venue. Two race winners alongside each other, Zegar and Kasprzak in red and blue. Here we go. And Zegar has made a beauty off the inside gate. Oh my goodness, Erik Kasprzak avoid collecting Jonasson, and here comes Woffenden up the inside now. Zegar with the lead, and Woffenden has battled his way through, and wheel to wheel with Jonasson here now, and Woffenden just about holding out for second, but Jonasson will come back for more.
Yeah, super ride from Thomas H. Jonasson. He read that nicely. Woffenden getting up the inside, but look at Zegar go again. He won the previous race, Heat 4, back-to-back heats. He's out in front. The bike absolutely flying for him. He looks really comfortable, and he's pulling away. Real good scrap for second place. Thomas H. Jonasson and Woffenden really going at it. Kasprzak's out the back. A lap to go.
Yeah, it is Matti Zegar then with the lead here. He won his first GP in Finland last year, of course, and he's on his way to a second straight victory. Matti Zegar of Slovenia rides for the Bellevue Aces in the UK. He takes that victory. He was looking superb there. Jonasson wins the battle with Woffenden. That was a great battle for second place. And the man at the back that time was Krzysztof Kasprzak. But what a start. I think Matti Zegar likes the green light starts. He's making it look easy.
Yeah, he's he's unbeaten so far, Nige. Yeah, he can't do better than that.
Zegar the winner. Jonasson was second. Woffenden was third there then. And it does mean that Zegar is now the leader on 6 points out of a possible 6. Kasprzak disappointed that time.
He's worked awfully hard just to get on his motorbike. Pedersen, who threatened in his opening ride but didn't quite land the blow he wanted and got himself relegated to third place. Iversen charged hard. Doyle, he had some speed in his opening ride.
Certainly did. Here we go with heat number 6 here in Warsaw. Oh, well, quite clearly Jason Doyle there has jumped the start. And I think it was inevitable that something like this was going to happen, because they've never done it before in the Grand Prix, and certainly in league racing they have. Is disqualified, and we are going to see an appearance of Bartosz Zmarzlik, the first reserve here. But Jason Doyle quite clearly furious, and now, so Jason Doyle has been disqualified for jumping the start off a green light start, and now it looks like the restart will be done from the tapes. Controversy and drama here in Warsaw.
That doesn't seem right, does it, to me? Maybe by the letter of the law, if they were told that if they moved before the light went out, you will be excluded, then he doesn't have an argument. But his reaction suggested to me that maybe that hadn't been made clear. I'm sure we'll find out, but far from ideal.
Okay, so we're going to go from the tapes this time. Bartosz Zmarzlik is the reserve rider. He's ridden in 3 GPs before, by the way. He's got a Grand Prix win to his name, memorably at Gorzów.
What a night that was.
Not much. And Niels Christian Iversen off the inside with Bartosz Zmarzlik off 2. Nicky Pedersen goes off gate 3 in white. And Andreas Jonsson is going off the outside. Jason Doyle furious in the pits after the decision to disqualify him from heat number 6. Chance for Zmarzlik now. Let's hope the tapes go up evenly this time. As we build up to heat number 6, we just want to get some speedway going, get some momentum going in the meeting.
Exactly, that's what we want. We want to get some action. Here we go, the green light is about to come on.
Oh, well, here we go. And the red lights have not come on, but quite clearly Niels Christian Iversen. The tapes did not go up on the inside correctly there, and the referee hasn't spotted it. There's no red lights. Pedersen with the lead, Andreas Jonsson is second, and Bartosz Zmarzlik is in third place here, with Niels Christian Iversen a long way behind, because for me the tapes did not go up evenly there.
Well, they didn't, and that's far from satisfactory. Pedersen's out in front, he won't worry, and got to say that Andreas Jonsson is doing a remarkably good job considering the injury he's carrying, but as I say, for Niels Christian Iversen. He's looking around in the first corner. He's not racing because the tapes didn't go up evenly, and that's a terrible shame.
I was looking for the red light straight away there, but they didn't go on. Now Jonsson is having a go. He's trying to close that gap on Nicky Pedersen. The fantastic rider from Denmark, 3 times world champion, is going to take the checkered flag. Nicky Pedersen from Andreas Jonsson and Bartosz Smarslik, but Niels Christian Iversen is furious. Niels Christian Iversen is furious. We are hearing that a replay will be studied here, so I'm not sure that the race will be declared at this stage. Watch the inside. Green light start. Second chance for Nicky Pedersen's rivals here, and a reminder that Bartosz Smarslik is the change. Jason Doyle excluded here in heat number 6 of this Grand Prix here in Warsaw. Stadion Narodowa. Great venue, it really is, and shame that we've had these problems so far, but let's hope we can get through the rest of the meeting now, see some good speedway. Iversen off the inside, Smarslik off 2, Pedersen off 3, Jonsson off the outside. A real test of riders' concentration here.
Oh, no doubt. You know, I've said it too many times already, but this is a complete change to the normal starting routine, and you've got to really now just think it through and remind yourself, don't move before it goes out, because I'm going to get excluded. And as I say, once you've done it once or twice, you'll get into a rhythm with it. But yeah, very different. But let's keep our fingers crossed that we can now get some real top quality racing.
So here we go, green light start once again. This is heat number 6, second time of asking, and they're away, and Smarslik has made a good one off 2. What a start from Bartosz Smarslik, the youngster. Iversen is there, Pedersen is third now, and Jonsson is pulled up at the back quite clearly. His knee couldn't handle that tight first turn, but the roar of the crowd here tells you that the youngster, Bartosz Smarslik, is kicking on.
Yeah, fabulous start there from the youngster out of gate 2, and the crowd have gone absolutely wild. The man out in front from this part of the world, of course. He's looking very good indeed. Iversen into second place. That'll be delighting him. Pedersen will not be happy. And Andreas Jonsson's pulled up. He got pushed wide in the first corner. His left leg was dragging behind him, clearly feeling the full effects of his injury. But Smarslik out in front, coming in. Whoa! A little bit out of shape, but he's got a little bit of cushion there and roars down the back straight.
Well, Smarslik then is going to take the victory. Listen to the roar of this crowd. What a ride from Bartosz Smarslik. And Nicky Pedersen is just limping home. Andreas Jonsson, quite clearly the pain was too much for him, understandably so. And Nicky Pedersen will be absolutely fuming that he got a victory. The race continued, it went to the checkered flag, then the referee has ordered a restart. And Pedersen that time couldn't make the start and finishes with just a point. Bartosz Smarslik the winner, Niels Christian Iversen was second, Nicky Pedersen was third, Andreas Jonsson retired, and well, now we see Iversen on 4 points with Zagar leading on 6.
Better than 2, isn't it? And then he just outpaced second time, so Nicky needs to be making the start.
Here we go then, Greg Hancock off the inside in heat 7, Chris Holder off gate number 2, Mats Janowski goes off gate number 3 in white, and Michael Jepsen Jensen is the rider off the outside in yellow. This is heat number 7. Once again, green light start. If you have just joined us, a starting gate malfunction means that the riders are going from a green light start. So when the green light comes on, they're under starters orders, and when the green light goes off, that's when they drop the clutch and the race gets underway. So here we go, heat number 7. And it's a good start from Hancock off the inside into that first turn, but Jepsen Jensen around the outside. A superb ride from the Dane in the yellow helmet colour. And now Janowski is trying hard around the outside of Hancock, but Hancock goes wide. Janowski really having a go. The man at the back here is Chris Holder. Hancock's in a rut. That allows Janowski an opportunity. Janowski is there, but Hancock's coming back for more. Has to get off the gas. Jepsen Jensen with the lead. Second place Janowski, and Hancock is third.
Yeah, Hancock there just hitting that run. He ran wide, and Janowski had tried the outside run, and Hancock had blocked it, but then he was able to get up the inside after the mistake from the world champion. Jepsen Jensen, very impressive out in front. I've got to say, he was good in his opening ride, and he's more impressive here in his second one. Janowski going to get amongst the points this time.
Michael Jensen looking superb here, kicking on and taking the victory from Mats Janowski. Third place there was Greg Hancock of the USA, and Chris Holder, who is struggling tonight, has to be said, yet to score a point. Trails in last there, but that was a good ride from Michael Jensen today. And back in the Grand Prix Series full-time this year. And 5 points from 6 for Michael Jensen.
Superstar for him. He had his ups and downs last year, but very impressive so far this evening.
Jensen the winner with Janowski second, Hancock was third. And it now means that Zagar is on 6, Jensen is on 5.
Even trouble in his second ride, quite clearly was feeling the injury, and probably the right thing to do. He doesn't want to make it worse and be out for any longer period of time. The only good bit of fortune he's got is there's a month before the next round, so he has got a little bit of time on his side in that regard to get himself fit. Here we go again.
Heat number 8 it is. Harris in game 4 pointing towards that first turn, and they're away. First time of asking, what a start from Hampel in the white helmet colour. Magnificent start, and Harris now rocks up and challenges in the yellow here. Third place is Golub. Trailing at the back is Troy Batchelor, but Jarek Hampel kicking on, looking good, and Chris Harris is having a real go here. He'll fight for everything. The Great Britain rider, second place right now.
Yeah, what a start again from Jarek Hampel, jet propelled away when the light went off. Oh, Batchelor's gone down hard, sliding onto the air fence as you go into turn 3 in the back straight. Red lights are on. Yeah, he's disappeared, he's buried there, he can't get out. I think he's going to be okay, but he's...
Heat number 8 then here. Battle of the Poles here, Thomas Golub and Jarek Hampel, the mainstay of the Polish World Cup side for so many years. Heat number 8, no Troy Batchelor off the inside. Thomas Golub goes off gate number 2 in blue, Jarek Hampel gate 3 in white, and Chris Harris going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. Here we go then, heat number 8. And after this race, every rider will have had 2 rides. There will be no more Andreas Jonsson. He's due out in heat number 9, but AJ has withdrawn from the meeting with that serious knee injury. Heat number 8. Well, Harris looked down momentarily for the tapes there. I think he forgot, but he's made a belting start. Chris Harris has got the lead here, the Great Britain man. Second in blue is Thomas Golub. Jarek Hampel is third, and Hampel have made a great start first time out. But Chris Harris of Great Britain, the underdog, the British Bulldog, riding well here.
Yeah, just got a little bit out of shape there, but he had enough in hand over Golub where it didn't hurt him at all. Good stuff from Harris. He was showing some speed in the initial starting of this race. And he's pulling away. Golub is slowing, and that's going to allow Jarek Hampel, I'm sure, the opportunity to get the better of Golub. But Harris has got this one. He's got just over a lap to go, and he's looking impressive out in front. Hampel, I'm sure, will try everything he can to get the better of Golub on the last lap.
Yep. Chris Harris with that lead then and winning this race comfortably. This is a terrific ride. He's been in good form, Chris Harris, in the early stages of the season, and he's taking the checkered flag here. And Thomas Golub hangs on for second place with Jarek Hampel in third. And it was looking so good for Hampel at one stage there, but in the restart, what a gate from Chris Harris. I thought initially that he'd looked down for the tapes and forgotten it was a green light start. But my goodness, he recovered quickly because he put his head back up sharpish.
Whatever he did then, he needs to repeat it, doesn't he? Because he absolutely flew away from the start line, and I've got to say, he showed some terrific speed out in front.
Great win for Chris Harris of Great Britain. Thomas Golub was second, Jarek Hampel third, Batchelor disqualified. 2 rides apiece have been completed, and Slovenia's Matej Zagar is the only unbeaten rider in the
significant number of under-21 riders that are more than capable of winning races at Grand Prix level.
So the riders coming out then for heat number 9. As we build up to the action, this man, Piotr Pawlicki, rode for Wolverhampton in the Elite League in England last year. Connected with Leszno here in Poland, of course. And we see a second successive ride for Chris Harris of Great Britain, going off gate number 2 here. So can Harris build on his 4 points? A win here for Chris Harris, and he'll have 1 foot in the semi-finals already, you feel.
And he wins a vital, particularly when you come to a count back if it gets very close. Winning races really can make the difference of being in the semi-finals or not. Chris Harris has already won a heat victory. I'm sure coming out of gate 2, be really keen to get amongst the points again.
Here we go with heat number 9 then. Piotr Pawlicki, the reserve replacement for the injured Andreas Jonsson, off the inside. Chris Harris of Great Britain goes off gate 2 in blue. Gate 3 is Christoph Kasperzak in white. And off the outside in yellow is Greg Hancock, the reigning world champion. It's been a tough night for all the riders so far. It's tested them physically and mentally, really, Kelvin. It's psychologically, it's been a major challenge for them.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. It's, you know, all of a sudden with a complete change to the system, the way you start the race, that's far from ideal. Track conditions are tough. They're a little bit rutty. They're not dangerous, but it is a little bit difficult. Hancock, the world champion, hasn't won a race so far, but Harris has, there in the blue helmet colour. Keep your eyes on Pawlicki. He can be quite exciting to watch. He's on the inside.
Certainly is. Well known to Wolverhampton fans in the UK. Piotr Pawlicki. Here we go with heat number 9. Big lineup. Which way will it go? And away from the start, Piotr Pawlicki has made a beauty, but Hancock off the outside comes across, and Pawlicki is all out of shape. Harris comes through into second place. Third place right now is Pawlicki, and pulling up at the back is Christoph Kasperzak. But it's Greg Hancock who has the lead from Chris Harris of Great Britain, and the reserve Pawlicki, and Kasperzak has pulled out of the race. And here comes Harris!
Brilliant move from Chris Harris up the inside there. Greg Hancock, the champion, just running too wide. Harris with lots of speed, dived in there, the door was open, and he just rushed straight through. Hancock now switching back to the inside. Good speedway here. Best race of the night so far, Nigel.
Yep, here nothing ruffles Chris Harris. He doesn't care. He just gets on with it, not worried about anything. The track, the tapes, nothing. And he really is getting stuck in here. Chris Harris of Great Britain in the blue helmet colour rides for the Coventry Bees in the UK, and he's going to get a second successive race win from Greg Hancock second. Piotr Pawlicki, who I thought was going to lose the motorbike and crash in the early stages. But what a ride that is from Great Britain's Chris Bomber Harris.
Fabulous move. It looked like Greg Hancock, after a super start and an opening lap, was comfortable out in front, but Hancock was riding in the middle of the track, leaving that room, leaving that inside run wide open for the British man, and he took full advantage. He dived in there, used the speed, hit the front, and showed a clean pair of heels to the opposition. Super ride from Harris.
Yeah, moves on to 7 from 3. Hancock second, Pawlicki was third there, and Kasperzak pulled out of the race. It means that Harris now is top scorer in the GP from 3 outings and 2 straight wins.
Well, you didn't say that many times last year.
Doing it, it's passion, it's desire, it's pride at riding on the biggest stage of all. That's what Chris Harris is all about. Heat number 10, Jarek Hampel off the inside gate in red. Ty Woffenden only 3 points so far for the former world champion. Chris Holder's yet to score, former world champion. Nicky Pedersen 2 points, former world champion. 3 of them here in heat number 10.
Yeah, a sensible race this, gotta say, you know, and Pedersen will be frustrated after his last ride, but keep your eyes on Hampel. Hampel's been in good form so far.
Green light on, and they're away, and Hampel has made a good start off the inside gate. Red has that advantage. Pedersen's gone wide. Oh, he's in a rut. How has he stayed on the bike? Goodness only knows. And Holder has come through into second now. Woffenden is holding the inside line, but Holder has got the better of Woffenden. The lead is with Hampel. Second place, Chris Holder. Ty Woffenden third, and Nicky Pedersen struggling to control the bike.
Well, how on earth did Nicky Pedersen stay on board there? He was all over the place in the first corner. Did remarkably well just to stay on his bike. Hampel away from the inside was sharp this time. Oh! Holder off the bike! Far too much grip, can't hang on. Gutted, absolutely gutted. The red lights are going to have to come on, are they? Yeah, he can't get off the track in time. Jarek Hampel there, he got a feel for Holder. He's failed to score in his first couple of rides, but just got caught out by a rut there in the first corner and just got thrown off the back of the bike.
Well, Nicky Pedersen was struggling there.
Well, Pedersen was remarkable how he just stayed on board at 7 points. So we see the official result here.
Jarek Hampel the winner, Ty Woffenden second, Nicky Pedersen was third. And no points to Chris Holder, who's yet to trouble the scorers. You have to feel for him there. And no doubt, track caught him out on that's not his night. So disappointment there for Chris Holder.
It is disappointing for Chris, and I did talk about the injuries he's had over the last couple of seasons, and that has affected him. He wouldn't be human if it didn't, and he does need a clean run to really build his confidence, to really feel strong again. He was, you know, unfortunate there, just catching that rut that really just caused the bike to lose control. But Holder's a man, he's a tough guy, he knows what it's all about. He's just got to dig in there and just keep plugging away, and the confidence will come back.
So we're up to heat number 11 then, and the legend that is Thomas Gollop is back out here. And Thomas H. Jonasson, Michael Jepsen Jensen has been fantastic so far. He goes off gate number 3, and Niels Christian Iversen going off the outside in the yellow helmet colour. So Gollop, the legend that is, he goes off the inside. And let's just hope that the boys can get round and the track doesn't play too much into the equation. There will be a track grade again after heat 12, by the way.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 ruts appearing, which is not ideal, but they have big rollers here, and I'm sure they'll work hard on the track to keep it under control. Michael Jepsen Jensen coming out here, he's been impressive so far tonight, and was very relaxed when he was interviewed by Steve Brandon just a little earlier on. He's coming out of gate 3 with the white helmet colour.
Yep, here we go then, heat number 11 it is, and it's a good start from Gollop off the inside, but look at that man in yellow. Niels Christian Iversen sweeps around the outside quite beautifully. Gollop holds second place. Thomas H. Jonasson is now charging hard in the blue helmet colour, trying to come up the inside of Gollop, and the man at the back is Michael Jepsen Jensen, but Niels Christian Iversen looking superb here.
He is indeed, he's looking really fast, and a surprise here for me is Jepsen Jensen, who'd been superb in his first couple of rides, and he's out the back. Gollop, just momentarily when the tapes went up, he hit the front, and the crowd really roared him on. Thomas H. Jonasson having a real good ding-dong battle with Gollop. Gollop there just running, he's got eyes in the back of his head. Here comes Jonasson up the inside. Yes, he just about gets himself into second place, but Iversen, he's got this one.
And here comes Gollop again, he's come back for more. He's going wide, Jonasson holds the inside, Iversen has got the 3 points, and down to the line, Jonasson just about holds on, and that silences the crowd here in Warsaw tonight. And Jepsen Jensen, you know, it is an up and down meeting tonight with inconsistency. Jepsen Jensen with a win followed by a last, and what a win for Niels Christian Iversen. It was a good ride, he did all the hard work from the start there, Iversen. Fantastic effort from the Dane. Iversen the winner with Jonasson second, Thomas Gollop was third, and Michael Jepsen Jensen at the back. So
well, I'll tell you what, if Thomas Gollop can win a race here this evening, it will blow the roof off, because just momentarily when he dropped the clutch.
For now, with Hampel on 7, Chris Harris on 7 as well. It's warming up nicely, and here's the unbeaten man Zagar off the inside, Troy Batchelor off 2, Jason Doyle off 3, and Maciej Janowski going off the outside. And after this race, there will be an extensive track grade.
Well, 3 riders here that are desperate for points. Got to say, Janowski be keen. Jason Doyle furious for being excluded last time.
Well, they're away. And it's Troy Batchelor in blue, the Australian, but charging hard up the inside in white. Super ride from Jason Doyle, the Australian here, up against his fellow countryman Troy Batchelor, and charging hard as well, Maciej Janowski in yellow, and Zagar now coming through into third. Just gets the better of Janowski. It's really fast and furious here now, and Jason Doyle, well, he is taking out his anger and frustration on his rivals here.
What a way to respond, Nigel, because he's riding brilliantly. He's looking good out in front. Got to say that Zagar, who was unbeaten before this ride, has swapped places with Janowski and is into third. And Batchelor, who made the start initially, is hanging on to second place. Janowski up the inside. Oh, this is tight. It's going to be a good last lap for second place. Zagar up the inside. Batchelor's from wide. Oh, he's off the bike for the second time.
And he's hurt. And he's hurt. He's landed awkwardly. He's hit the fence. Lost control of the bike. And he's, well, let's hope that it's nothing more than badly winded there.
Well, there's a possibility this race will be awarded as well now. It was on the last lap. And, yeah, there's a few ruts there in that first corner, and that caught him out. It straightened the bike up.
Good ride. And here's the results of heat number 12 here in Warsaw, as the tractors prepare to come out for a track grade. Jason Doyle with a race win, well deserved. Maciej Zagar was second, third was Maciej Janowski, and that means that it's Maciej Zagar who tops the Grand Prix score charts after 12 heats for another season. Eager anticipation all around, a sensational atmosphere here. Thomas Golub, the legend, on his farewell Grand Prix meeting tonight. Reigning champion Greg Hancock defending his title, but drama early on. Troy Batchelor charging through. All 4 riders back for the restart. A controversial decision. Some will say right, others will say wrong. Kelvin and I certainly felt that Batchelor should have gone for that. Christoph Kasperzak looking quick, the crowd loving that. But then the starting gate came into play. 1 or 2 problems with the starting gate. We're going off green light start. Matti Zegar looking superb. 8 points after 12 heats. And certainly the best rider consistently on the night. But again, the tapes didn't go on consistently. Frantic work, but all in vain as we went from a green light start once again. The action was fast and furious. The boys were giving it a go. No question about that. Good ride, Matti Zegar again. Thomas H. Johnson and Ty Woffenden having a real go. Some good speedway. Nicky Pedersen again, battling for everything, but only with 3 points at the interval. Jepsen Jensen with a super start. A race win for the Dane. But then drama as well as Batchelor ran out of room, hit his left leg. Buried in the air fence. Thankfully he's okay, but obviously a wrist problem. An issue with the wrist. Then Greg Hancock off to a good start. Golub lost control of the bike, and this allowed Chris Harris to nip up the inside. Good ride from Harris, and he's on 7 points at the interval. Batchelor, though, it's just not his night.
Riders and appropriate officials involved. The meeting, unfortunately, couldn't continue on the grounds of safety. That is the statement in its entirety. Short words signed by the FIM race director Tony Steele, and I believe we're now seeing Thomas Golub do his farewell laps to the Grand Prix crowd. He's doing it now. So, gents, we may talk to Thomas in due course, and they've also said that a result of the meeting tonight and how it stands in the championship will be confirmed in due course.
Well, desperately disappointing, of course. Far from ideal. It's been a difficult night right from the word go, hasn't it, with restarts, problems with the starting gate. But Thomas Golub coming out here, this is an opportunity for the Poles to give him a nice farewell. And looks like all the Polish riders, all riders in actual fact, are coming out to do a track sort of celebration in respect to Golub. That's nice. But yeah, disappointing though that we're not going to see any more racing.
Interesting, they say the result is to be confirmed in due course.
Well, you just wonder whether this will be null and void, you know.
No indication as to whether the result stands, or has Matti Zegar won this Grand Prix?
Exactly, there hasn't been, but we just have to wait again.
And this is a shame now.
Leading the boys round.
Yep, so Thomas Golub, his farewell, and this is mixed really, because the crowd aren't happy, are they?
No, they're not, and they're showing their feelings. Of course, it's not easy because Golub is such a hero, but you know, some of the public are obviously applauding him and standing on their feet, rightly so. Ty Woffenden there alongside him, you know, showing his respect and encouraging the public to get behind the man. Not the ideal way for him to finish his Grand Prix career, but nonetheless, a lot of people have gone now, but the people that are left have just seen somebody that's done some extraordinary work and has represented the country, well, brilliantly. He's been a massive ambassador for the sport and the country, isn't he?
It's a farewell to a legend, Thomas Golub. Matti Zegar is there, congratulating him on a fantastic career. This is his final moments as a Grand Prix rider. 164 Grand Prix appearances, world champion in 2010, and all his fellow competitors here paying their tribute to a legend, Thomas Golub. Disappointing way to bow out, of course, but what's done is done. There's guys there who've been his rival for years, Nicky Pedersen, Greg Hancock.
Well, I was very fortunate to ride against Thomas Golub when he burst on the scene. And he ran me over a couple of times in Blossom, and he certainly left his mark. But he then went on to, you know, greater things. And as you just said, being world champion, of course, that was long overdue. Thought he might have been able to clinch a world championship earlier, but a nice, fitting way for the boys to show their respect.
Fantastic. Yep, the riders now I'm sure he's going to get the bumps. Nicky Pedersen, who's battled with him so many times. And Thomas Golub bails out of World Championship Speedway here in Warsaw tonight. What a career, what a rider. He's going to be missed, no doubt about it.
Yeah, there's only one Thomas Golub. They've got some quality riders coming through, and well-established riders like Kasper Zakenhampel that are going to have to carry the mantle now. But there's no doubt that Golub has been extra special for the sport.
So, yeah, congratulations to him on an absolutely fantastic career.
Well, those two boys there, the current world champion, they're both the same age, and Golub there. I think that's proper. I don't know if we'll see a tear in his eye, but he must have some Asmil. Maybe he's going to well up a little bit later on, but that was quite special. That.
Yeah, great moment for Thomas Golub, and well deserved as well. Thomas Golub bids farewell to Warsaw and to Grand Prix Speedway. Going to come up to victory lane. Thomas Golub rode for the Ipswich Witches for a couple of seasons in the UK Elite League and won the league with the Witches, along with the likes of Tony Ricardson and Chris Lilly. It was good to see him in England for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, he was dynamite, wasn't he? And they had a smashing team, and they really did have a good time. And, we were lucky enough to see him on riding in the UK for a couple of years, but as I say, I've reflected on some of his past glories, and he didn't very often disappoint. You know, he's wound down in the last couple of seasons, hasn't been the rider he was, but he's probably choosing the right time to step down from riding at the highest level.
Well, Steve Brandon is down there. I'm sure we're going to hear it. Having a chat with the main man. Down to you, Steve Brandon.
Thomas Golub, I think it's fair to say you are the undisputed king of Polish Speedway. Reflect on a great career for me.
It's normal race in the 20 years ago. I think it's one world champion this 20 years. I'm very happy. Thank you, cooperation, my team and my sponsors, it's my people. Dziękuję bardzo wam, kibice, za to, że przez 20 parę lat kibicowaliście mi i dopingowaliście. Wierzyliście w to, że zostanę mistrzem świata. I chcę powiedzieć, że to, co zrobiłem, to zrobiłem przede wszystkim dla was, żebyście byli uśmiechnięci i żeby ten sport u nas był jak najlepiej rozprowadzony. Ja jestem przekonany, że jest wielu młodych zawodników, Polaków, którzy teraz przejmą tą pałeczkę i będą podążać po kolejny tytuł mistrza świata dla was, dla naszego kraju.
Just last question for you, Thomas, in English. Just over that career, are there any real special moments that stand out?
This moment is stop. Na tę chwilę chcę stanąć i pomyśleć, co dalej. Na pewno będę jeszcze jeździć w lidze, będę jeździć w innych turniejach, natomiast jeśli chodzi o Grand Prix, jakiś czas chcę mieć chwilę do zastanowienia, żeby podjąć jakąkolwiek potem decyzję.
I have no idea what you said, Thomas, but I think hopefully the people enjoyed it. I believe there's going to be a special presentation to you happening right now, so if you just wait here, Thomas, they'll come to you.
Yep, special presentation then to the legend Thomas Golub. And
it's been a special career, hasn't it?
It has.
He's been stuff, and he's been presented with a helmet there that's gold, and yeah, with the logo from this meeting, and of course the emblem of their country's flag on the top of the helmet. But all round, it's been a nice way to see him off. It's been a great career, and I think it's probably the right time. He's not the rider he once was, and he's probably stepping down from the highest level of Speedway at the right moment.
Great moment for him, Thomas Golub. And the world's press offering their coverage and congratulations on a fine career as well. Just to remind you, here in Warsaw, the meeting abandoned after 12 heats, but we are yet to secure the information as to whether the result stands. As soon as we get that information, then of course we can let you know. But
yeah, some unanswered questions there, aren't there? You know, that's World Championship points have been won and earned. For them to be then ruled out, that would be quite tough. I assume in the course of time we will find out exactly what the position, because at the moment you would say that Matej Zegar leads the World Championship.
If the result does indeed stand, but the statement, Steve Brandon followed the statement up by saying he was told that the result of this meeting will be confirmed in due course. Does that suggest that it may be null and void, or whether the result will stand? Well, that question will be answered in due course. We will let you know. Significant.
Yeah, it'd be tough if you've got 8 points to his name from 3 rides and then those points are taken away from you. I assume at the moment that's the least of their worries. At the moment they've had to make a huge decision. That decision has got to be one of the biggest decisions ever taken, because to call this event off at the midway point quite clearly must have taken it took a lot of consultation.
Let's take a look back at the story of tonight's meeting. This was just what happened a few moments ago.
This was a lovely touch, I've got to say. You know, real genuine respect for the rider, and a rider of such high quality, and coming together like that. And the hug, particularly the hug from Greg Hancock, who is of the same age and has been through it all. And they've been battling together since 1995 in the Grand Prix series, and of course for long periods of time in all the Polish and league racing. And, you know that they've been and done it all. Golob enjoying this moment, and rightly so. He's fully deserves this send-off.
Pictures that Thomas Golob will relish for the rest of his life. Ty Wolfenden puts the #1 by him. That's good.
Yep, so Golob there, just posing now for the pictures. A lot of national press here, and they're taking the opportunity to, he's going to get plenty of coverage, isn't he? So yeah, a fitting moment for him.
Well, let's head down to Steve Brandon, who's got an update for us. Steve.
Hi gents, yeah, I've just spoken and again had clarification from the FIM that the result will be declared after Heat 12, and the top 3 in tonight's meeting will be as follows. Matej Zegar from Slovenia wins the meeting with his 8-point haul. Chris Harris second with 7 points, and by virtue of the fact that he beat Jarek Hampel in Heat 8, Jarek Hampel finishes third. So there's the top 3. Zegar wins his 2nd Grand Prix. Harris gets a decent haul, and Hampel.
I witaj Polino i życzę